We as humans love to make comparisons. We do. And it's all about me, as they say. It's all about me. The sooner we realize that life is not all about me, the better off we are. But that's a learning process, and we learn at different stages. It doesn't necessarily mean that the older we are, the more we have learned. Hopefully we have. But those who follow after us, the generations to come, they watch, they listen, and they learn from us. And when they constantly hear complaints about justice, they grow up in a world where they feel they have to mention it themselves. And when things don't seem right by our standards, we say something like, "That's not fair." It's not fair. That's not fair. Lots of things are not fair, according to our human standards. But then we think we've invented the world. We haven't. We contribute to sustenance. I like that. To sustain the world, to make our gifts and our abilities put to good use so that the world that God created continues. Sustenance. In the meantime, we need maintenance. We do. I have two examples to give you. I learned all of this myself in life. I didn't grow up in a different world. I learned this. But I also learned some very good things in life. And there are opportunities when we call them to mind. I learned about justice when I was a kid, yeah, I learned. I learned about material things when I was a kid, I did. Let me give you two examples. I came to this country, I wasn't even 30. And one of the first things that they asked me to do, perhaps because they realized I could do it, was to teach in the local Catholic high school in the diocese in Indiana. I had a fairly strong Irish accent, but that's from my upbringing at home. The kids, I was teaching juniors and seniors, they looked older than me, but anyway. They couldn't understand what I was saying, but they loved the accent. 1972. How many remember 1972? Don't forget to put up your hand in a little while now. In 1972, this was before we had the big crash in the petroleum industry, and things haven't changed since. In 1972, we could fill gasoline in our cars at the high school on an honor system. All the staff filled gasoline there on an honor system. You fill the gas, you wrote it down, you just once a month you paid the office for what you consumed, what you filled. I see my friend Casey here. Casey was a good thought in God's mind in 1972. Casey, what do you think was the price of gasoline per gallon in 1972? Lower your mask, speak clearly, loud, go for it. What do you think, Casey? How much? What did he say?
He said 5 cents.
The kid is living in a dream world, but that's okay. 1972. Now I have some friends over here, maybe they'll remember. I filled gas. It was 3 or 4 cents cheaper to fill at the high school because it was bought in quantity and so forth. 3 or 4 cents cheaper than filling at a gas station. In fact, gas stations, you want to know what all of this has got to do with the homily? It does. Watch it. Gas stations used to have someone who would fill your tank for you. There was no fill it yourself kind of thing. They'd fill your tank for you. Wash your windshields too.
Check your oil.
Remember that, Joe?
Check your oil.
Okay. So, 32 cents a gallon. How many from 72 remember 32 cents a gallon? There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 32 cents a gallon. I filled gas at Costco just the other day, $2.49 a gallon. One example. Things have changed, haven't they? In 1972, it's better for me to do this as an example than to ask anyone else to do so. I don't want to do that, put you on the spot, put myself on the spot. What do you think the priest got paid? This is in Indiana. What do you think the priest got paid per month in 1972? Go for it, Casey. You say 5 cents and you're in trouble, kid. What did he say? 300. Casey, 300 was a DREAM. True. I remember in 1972, I got paid $75 a month. And if you had a car, you got another $75. And then you got a little stipend for masses. The stipends have changed since. But altogether, you may have got 300 altogether. Coming to think about it. We get more than 300 now. You don't want to know, and I'm not going to tell you. But I manage my 300 a lot better than I can manage. I manage, don't worry. I'm fortunate my family has been very helpful over the years, and many a thing I got from my family. I remember going to the university and wanting to pay for my own tuition. And this is the last. In 1972, I was doing a master's degree, the second one, and it was $29 a credit hour. $29 a credit hour. In any state university now, a credit hour is almost 300 or so. Whatever, 300 or so. What's the example for? Because when you look at things, you'll say, that's not fair. Just the other day, there was a big discussion on television about healthcare workers. Healthcare workers, oh, by the way, Casey, here's another one for you. What was the minimum wage in 1972, Casey? What? You would be a millionaire if you got $7. Did you say $7? Yeah. $1.25 was the minimum wage in 1972. That's okay, Casey. That's not fair. Daily unskilled workers waiting for a job would stand around in the marketplace. That's an old story. It's a story, by the way. It's to teach us about justice, God's justice. There was once a landowner who owned a vineyard. And he needed workers in his vineyard. He went out early morning. Some were there ready to work. Go to my vineyard and work. 9 o'clock, he needed more workers. Go to my vineyard and work. Noontime, go to my vineyard and work. 3 in the afternoon, all these times are given over here just to prolong the story and to let us know how this went. 3 in the afternoon, a few more workers were there. Why are you standing around? No one has hired us for today. Go to my vineyard and work. I will give you the usual wage. 5 in the afternoon. Some more were standing there without a job for the day. Go to my vineyard and work for the usual daily wage. In many countries in the world, it still is the same way, particularly in third world countries. Unskilled laborers wait to be employed. If you want someone who is unskilled, You can go to the marketplace and you will find workers. Go to my vineyard and work. When it's time to get paid, he tells the foreman, the one in charge, okay, pay them for the day. Start with those who came in at 5 and end with those who came in 9 in the morning or whatever. Those who went at 5, they received the daily wage, whatever it was. They were excited about it. Perhaps they were surprised that we didn't even work the whole day. We got the same thing for a day's wage. In the meantime, those who came earlier were standing there and they were watching what's happening. Oh, they were all excited. Maybe we'll get some more, That's a good day for us. When they came up to be paid, they got the same daily wage. What did they say?
Not fair.
That's not fair. They told the landowner, we were here at the crack of dawn. We've been working the whole day, going through the heat of the day and everything, and we get the daily wage. We thought we'll get a little more because they came at 5 o'clock and they got paid the same. And then the landowner said, if I wish to give the last one the same that I gave you, did we not agree on this price? We agreed on this, didn't you? Yes, but. Same thing today. Yes, but. Are you envious because I am generous? Are you envious because I am generous? The first reading had a beautiful saying, a conversation where God says, my thoughts are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are not my thoughts. We live in a world where there is complaint and a sense of justice. That sense of justice works both ways. People get paid for what they do. They agree to it. That's why they're working. But they forget about that after a while. And there are many people who take that payment and do not do the work they're supposed to do. And they get paid. Now, isn't that a sense of justice? Tell me. And there are some who get twice the amount because they do a little different job, and so they get twice the amount. Now, isn't that a sense of justice? Everybody wants to be a CEO of a major multinational company. It's not that way. My thoughts are not your thoughts. When you and I realize that everything we have comes from the hands of God, then we are developing a correct sense of justice. In the meantime, my friends, we are human. We're not perfect people. We do complain. For some people, it's a permanent disposition. They complain all the time, period. And then there are many who are so happy for the little that they get. I got what would I call it? A message in WhatsApp from a young person in India. I learned a lot from that. I learned before, but I looked at that and I thought, There was somebody sitting on the roadside. It was like a comic strip. Someone sitting on the roadside with a can in front of them, and another young person comes and puts something in that can. And the caption to that read, I give, not because I have, but because I know what it is not to have. Isn't that awesome, really? I give, not because I have, but I've learned in life. This is a young person, 22, 23 years old. What it is not to have. When you and I realize that our sense of justice doesn't take us into the kingdom of God. It won't. It may, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say it won't. But when it is diametrically opposed to the justice of God, who knows all things, we'll be learning something new. He has written, quote, the book on justice. When you write your book on justice, give me a copy. I'll pay for it. And if we're looking for justice in this world, here's the last thought for the day, for this morning. Take it home with you. That guy didn't do anything wrong, and they hung him on a tree, on a cross, on 2 cross pieces of wood. They hung him. Is that justice? That's not fair. But God allowed that to happen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.